Hey bourbon fans, I'm Tim the Suburban Dad, helping dads find great bourbon. And that's exactly what I want to talk about in this episode. Eagle Rare is a good product from Buffalo Trace. It's one of their line that I actually do appreciate and enjoy. But like many allocated bottles, it is not worth going crazy for. It's not worth killing yourself to find. It's good, but it's not great. What can you enjoy instead? So let's get to it. Make sure to subscribe. Getting caught up to date on all your bourbon news and facts does not happen by accident. But if you're subscribed to this channel, your odds of being up to date will be much better. So Eagle Rare, it's a good product, especially at retail price, which is about $34, 90 proof, and 10 years old. For the age statement, I mean, it's hard to get a 10-year-old bourbon for that cheap. You can get this one by dumb luck, or if you happen to live in an oasis of bourbon where you can just snag it off the shelf, good for you. Around here, it's extremely rare and goes quickly. Instead, because let's face it, it's not going to fulfill all your hopes and dreams. Okay, it's just not. The most I've ever paid for Eagle Rare is $50. That was for a store pick. I would only ever pay that if I knew it was a great store pick that was super delicious. But man, for the most part, I don't really want to pay above $40 anymore. Seriously. So what can you get instead? Here are 5 bottles that are available many places. 3 of them are available all over the place, and 2 of them are available. Okay, just to be fair. First one, and these are in no particular order. First one is Maker's 46. So this one is 94 proof, retails for about $38. It's very similar to Eagle Rare in that it has a fruit forward palate. It's more strawberry forward to me. Eagle Rare has a very strong grape note to it. So Maker's 46, again, it's a few proof points higher. So it's got a little bit more robustness to it. It's a wheated bourbon, and it's got a little bit more of a rich mouthfeel to it than compared to Eagle Rare. You can find that one all over the place. It's fantastic. Next on the list is Four Roses Small Batch. This one is 90 proof, and it retails for about $38. Another one you can find everywhere. Four Roses has a little bit of a higher rye content in their mash bill. It's still got the fruity note to it. It does have a little bit more spice. The spice part is a little more similar to Eagle Rare, even though Eagle Rare does not have a strong spice note to it. But similar. All these bottles that I'm listing off today have a fruit tone to them. That's what makes them the most similar to Eagle Rare. And they hover around that 90 proof point, which will give you a similar experience. Next one is Wagon Straight Bourbon. Now this one is a little bit of a stretch, but it's still pretty similar. Around here, you can't get it in Missouri, unfortunately. The closest place you can get it is Illinois. You can order it online though when they have it in stock. And it retails for about $34, and it's 92.5 proof for some reason. It's very tasty. I would say, of the 5 bottles that I'm naming today, this is probably the most off track from the Eagle Rare profile, but it still has some fruit to it, and it's really good for the price point. Next on the list, Russell's Reserve 10-year bourbon. And this one I think is the closest to the Eagle Rare experience, both in mouthfeel and flavor. Price point retails for right around $32. You can find this literally all over the place. At least here in Missouri, I could go to any grocery store, definitely any liquor store, and find it pretty easily. This one, very fruity, fairly light. It doesn't have a real rich, robust mouthfeel, which, you know, it's 90 proof. It's not a big deal. I really enjoyed the bottle that I had. I do think it's very similar to Eagle Rare. Last on the list is Michter's Sour Mash Whiskey. So this one, it technically is not a bourbon, but it retails for about $48. It's 86 proof. I've seen it pop up all over the place lately in Missouri. It might be a little harder to find where you are, so don't blame me if you go out looking and you can't find it. It is a little trickier to find, and it's a little more expensive. But it has a sweet tone, kind of like Eagle Rare. Not as fruity, but it definitely is sweet. For the proof point, 86 proof, it's got a decent flavor and mouthfeel experience. So it's kind of like Eagle Rare. It's a little on the lighter side. It's not going to punch you in the face, but it's just pleasant. It's nice. There you go. 4 bourbons and a whiskey that you can find on most shelves or get a hold of fairly easily that are as good, if not somewhat better, than Eagle Rare. Now, if you find an Eagle Rare, great, good for you. Buy it, as long as it's not too expensive. I can't stand overpaying for bourbon. Happy hunting. Until next time, cheers.